Okay, hello everyone, let's try this out. So today I'm just gonna do something very quick before my family gets home, and I want to improve the character controller, or specifically the jumping. Because as you can see, I'm holding my thumb and I'm only jumping this side, but if I stand next to this one, I'm jumping like a maniac. And that is only because when I am jumping, I'm checking if I'm grounded, and I'm grounded if my collider is touching the ground layer, which it does if I stand right next to it, like this. Oh, at least if I stand like this, it is touching right here. So to get around this, in the is touching layer, I will check ray tracing below the player as well to see if the ground is below. And I should probably is grounded. Protected bool is grounded. Or we just do it like this, since this is what we already have. Does not exist. I would say that it does. Why? Ah, it's always interesting to program with other people. Is here. I'm sorry if I do some noises at the same time, because I do listen to music on the other side. So here we have some physics to the raycasting that we can just copy paste into the player controller. Alright. Float bottom position of player is, I'm sure it's good. So we take our position in Y. We take, do we have that one? Rigid body, box collider 2D, BC, BC. Is the box collider 2D. We also don't want that one. Plus the extents of that one, plus a skin thickness. This is just the difference between between where the ray tracing starts and our box collider is. Just so we don't hit ourselves the first thing we do, which was a problem we had in the beginning or in the first stream. Public float skin thickness. What did we call it here? That was under the category movement. Okay, so let's do another header that we call collision, maybe. And I did have that one. And this is the lower, and we want both left and right side. Otherwise, when we... I can just do it like this. If our... This isn't. If we end up like this and we only have in the middle, we will fall off. So we need to check both sides as well, minus the skin thickness maybe. Float sides. Just do it like this to begin with. Transform dot position x plus dot bound x skin thickness I want the extents of that. But this one is probably the right side. Float left side is equal to all of that minus this one. So if I do a vector 2 left bottom lower left equals new vector 2, and we have xy, which means that we have left side, right, left side, position of player. Right side, lower right, debug dot draw ray. Let's see what that wants. A start position, let's say lower right. And a direction, let's take it's a vector 3. Vector 3 dot down. Nice. Color yellow 1. Does this work? Not used. That's okay. What? Skin thickness is 1. 0.01 maybe. Positive is up. So we want the negative. Let's do it like this so we are consistent with what we are actually doing. So at the position, we remove the extent and the skin thickness. So why do we start? What happens if we remove that one? That is correct. And the bottom we have the transform.position.y. Log. Y pos. Bounds extends. Plus skin thickness. Let's see what it says. The Y position seems to be correct. Or is it because it's offset, maybe? How does it look? Rigid body, box collider, offset 0.09. Could that be the problem? Yep, it is. So can we get the actual position of the box collider, or the actual borders of the box collider in world coordinate? So basically what he does, it's the exact same thing as I do. Okay. So I guess we can just add the plus skin thickness plus bc dot offset dot y. And this should work then. Bounds thickness. It seems that this is actually moving in the opposite direction. Let's remove that one so we have a better look at this. So if we increase the offset, didn't I remove the enemy? Ah, might be good if you actually remove the actual enemy. And I know I could just change it, but I want to understand why it actually does what it does. It's a really good question. Because if we have... What was that? If we have this as 0, then it works. And if we increase this, or decrease it, probably because it's supposed to be like this. And now let's see when it works. Yeah, it works. Nice. So that was because we are reducing everything, but we just want to add the offset, not actually subtract it like we do if we have it within here. So bottom position of player. So what we have the bottom position debug.draw lower right. Draw array. If I do the lower left now, this should be really, really good. Look! And if we zoom in, we see that we are actually in between the player and ground. We are in between those two, so that should be good enough. So let's remove that. Right position of character, we don't need that one. We don't want that one. And now we have 2 raycast hit. Lower left hit. And raycast lower right hit. Right. Maybe we should change this so we always look at right. What we also might want to do is to put this ray between or inside here. So when I touch the other, it doesn't affect that one. And now I have origin lower right, lower left, Ray detection distance can be 1 here as well. Do we have the layer mask? How do we do it here in the enemy? Right position, origin, right cast, hit. No, they don't care. Where do I use that one? Ah, here. So if get component is touching layer, lower right hit, or lower left hit. Does that work? So it's not jumping. Probably because the distance is 0. Detection distance. Let's just put it 1 to begin with to test. To draw rays here to know what start lower right. Direction. Down, of course. Vector 2 dot down. Color yellow. Ray detection distance. And then we want to do the same for the other ray, which will be lower left. Capitalization is, of course, a good idea. So now we have, and now we are jumping. So what we can do now is to zoom in. If we press play, and it does take a while for it to update, I guess. Ray detection distance, ray detection distance. And why is it not So this is clearly 0.01. So why is it drawing 1? Bottom, right side, lower left. This has nothing to do with anything. We are casting a origin, a direction, and a distance. Low right, down, yellow. What's the difference between the distance and the duration? Start direction, color, duration, depth test, direction, color, duration, depth test. So those are the only ones. What happens if we do it? Rate detection distance 0.01. And we don't have any other draw rays here. So if I remove these ones, it should be okay. Yep, nothing more. Debug.log. Let's see what happens if I do it like this. This should be null sometime, right? Is touching. Okay, I have to be a little bit lower right. Lower left. I'm sorry for that, that was my phone. Ah, could it be this easy? Uh, Note to self. Always add the base statement. Although it doesn't explain why it showed 0.1 meter still. But as you can see now, we can walk and we can jump and nothing there. The only problem we have now is that when I push to the right, we actually get stuck. But that is another problem. So what we want to do now is probably add the jump strength a little bit. Let's increase it, not add it. So this might be a good base. And what we also want to do is to add the timer. If I just press once very fast, it should only do that. If I hold in, it should jump a little bit higher. So to do that, I already started jump start timer. Jump hold time, jump addition. I wonder what I thought about here. So this is how long, which means that if time.time is less than jump start time plus let's call it jump addition force and jump addition time. And we probably don't want that in there either. That would make everything. Else if time. This is a jump start time plus jump addition time. So if we set a jump start time plus the jump addition time, and we start at here, then we are adding force and we're adding the jump addition force to that one. Jump force. Okay. Let's so up to 1 second. And we have add jump force is registering. But we also want to check if we are actually holding the jump button. Probably a bit overkill. We want this as a protected. is jumping. Return. So we probably want to call that jumping instead. Float jumping. Nope, we don't. Let's call it vertical still. If we are jumping and time.time is less than that one, sorry. If ground and vertical, we don't want grounded. If vertical is that and we are on our jump addition timer, and there we have it. And this one is in the fixed update. What happens if we do it 1? So let's try with 100 just to make sure that we are actually doing something. No, we're not. So how much are we adding? Jump addition force, player. There we are. Try with something a little bit more realistic. And we probably want this way snappier as well. Let's see. Jump strength 300. 250. Probably works. Gravity scale, let's put that to 2. Try to get a little bit snappier. This feels a little bit better. It also feels better with the jumping, but we want to change that a little bit, I believe. Make it a little bit lower time, maybe half a second. It's 200, and this one can maybe be increased instead. That doesn't feel natural at all. We also really want to fix this, because this is really annoying. But I think this will work for now. And then we have our basic enemy back. This is nowhere near good enough in jumping. But 400. Say 350. 300. Okay, so this starts to feel a little bit better. We are going to want to tweak those values later, but I think we're happy for that right now, at least. I believe it was 350, right? Yep. Okay, so I'm happy with that for now. Thanks for watching.